Good morning, daughter. Okay, I'm going to discuss, and anybody else, hello, everybody. I'm going to discuss the concept that there are really only three basic sins that have a huge impact on this world. Now, the average Christian will think that there are millions of different forms of sin, and that would be true, but it all branches from three, and we know why. Because it is this pattern that the devil used when Jesus had fasted 40 days in the desert. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. It's a hard concept to understand it. For me, it still is. I had to look up old notes and relearn or try. It's a hard concept, I tell you. But um, I'll give Doug Batchelor one of his sermons. I took notes, and I'm going to share this with you. He's great, amazing facts. But the concept of that Eve and the Lord were tested the same way. The Lord was perfect. His result was perfect. Eve's was failure, sadly. But that's us. Guess what? So the lust of the eyes. Um, when Eve was presented with the forbidden fruit, and the serpent said, "Ah, you will be wise." She saw when she gazed at the fruit. The real thing to do is to look away. That's the first thing you do. If presented with diabolicalness, you look away. But she gazed upon it, and by doing that, she made herself vulnerable. And she saw that it looked good. It looked good. And that would paste off to any other thing, that looks good, that you would desire, So she saw it was good for food. The other thing that she got involved with, oh, and for Jesus, it was turn these rocks into bread. And I believe that Lucifer had the ability to demonstrate a mirage where everything, I think, even the smell, which would totally qualify for lust of the flesh, you know, I'm sure to Eve in that moment, she looked and said, "Smells wonderful." You know, it just smells wonderful. Frankly, she would. I could hear that. So I'm certain. But lust of the flesh can be anything. A pastry could be lust of the flesh. A pastry. So there are a million ways, but those three areas. The other, with lust of the flesh. Oh, yes, yes, lust of the flesh. Lucifer took Jesus to the highest pinnacle and said, jump off. For it is written, your angels will grab you that you may not turn your foot. And what's Satan saying to Jesus? You'll be indestructible. And Jesus says, no, no, no. He answered for all three answers from the same book. It's not coming. But so that was another attempt. Uh, Eve loved the smell. The third is pride of life. And with that, looking at my notes, pride of life for Eve was that Lucifer had convinced her that it would make her wise to disobey God's command. You'll know the difference between good and evil when God's intent was to shield them from it. Um, of course, the devil said to Jesus, took him and he gazed upon the earth and said, all of this I'll give you. Just worship. Remember, friends, and remember, daughter. Sorry, not flattering. Remember, friends, remember, daughter. It's always going to be about worship. At the very end, it's going to be about worship. About worship. It's not going to be about governments. It's going to be about worship. Because the devil wants you to worship. He just wants you to worship him. Now I'm going to look at my notes. Oh, yeah. The only three actual sins are those three we've discussed. And from those three, the others blossom and branch outward. But that's the soil. Those are the platforms. Everything grows. And it's a lot easier to manage three than to manage hundreds in your mind if you don't know any better. That's how I feel. Hold on. It boils down those three ways of thinking that are ungodly. It boils down to passions, possessions, and positions, all of which are folly. An illusion, daughter. everything you see, short of only Scripture, and I mean love, everything, an illusion. That's how I feel about it. The real thing, most of the world doesn't see or can't see. Let me read a little bit more here. Maybe it's going to be short. Yeah, so denial of the carnal nature, carnal pleasures, that's a hard bill to fill. But for the person who's interested, it's an honorable task. I think I've said everything I wanted to say here. I think that's it. Yeah, makes you wise. You'll know like God knows. Lust of the flesh. Yeah, I read that. Okay. That's it. So, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, the pride of life. Those are the three. So don't worry about anything else but just having faith and doing that which is proper. Christianity is a fighting religion. You're expected to get up and do something. We're designed to be purposeful. This is one I just learned. Scripture says, 6 days shall you do your labors or do your works. I'm thinking, does the Lord want us to, work 6 days? But no, he says in 6 days you shall do your, whatever it is. You might work 4 or 5. 5 is probably traditional. And then you go about your business and you do the things that you have to do for your family, time with them. Of course, the Lord expects your time all the time. Have a great day, daughter. Love you. Have a great day, everyone.